So hi and welcome, I'm T from T-Sphere and welcome to these basic tutorials where I want to show just the basics of Max. So I will start with some introducing you with Max if you don't know that, and after we will go more deeper inside it. We will model something, after create some materials and render the scene. Okay, I have here something but I want to do a first start, so go here and there is, as I said, the scene. We don't want to save anything. Okay. So I'm using the Max 2011. If you have some older Macs, it's almost the same, just the menu here, change time in the icons. So let's start with the first chapter, and it's the basic or introducing to Max. So Max is a 3D modeling software, actually very used for visualization in architecture. And it's divided in some main parts. It's like this menu here, then these buttons, the menu on the right, and these buttons on the bottom. And in the center are the views. So let's start on top. Here are the basic tools to handle the application, like save, open, or reset the recent objects. Now, here more are some tools, views, create, modifiers, animation, and every tool which you can use in Max actually, and some of them are dragged here. So as you can see, it's very similar to some other applications like Microsoft Office or something like that. So you can customize this and create your own buttons, which will make your workflow very faster. What's new in 11 is this, which are actually the buttons of the functions which are you using actually in this moment. Now on the right are the basic tools for modeling. Like you have here the objects, the primitives, like the box, sphere, cylinder, and so on. Extended primitives, compound objects, particle systems, and so on. Next are shapes, lights, cameras, and helpers, and so on. In this lesson we will just be here and here, then create some lights and some camera. Next to here are some modifiers, so every object which you create has some modifiers which helps you to speed up the modeling, and actually without the modifiers you will not be able to model some things. Now at the bottom here are some animations tools, very basic. You can create a line which is the shape of animation, then a box, and tell her like, and at the 0 frame be here and 100 frame be here, so it will smooth go from here there. Now here are some tools for moving the environment. It's very important Max. You will work the most time with me in perspective, but the Max have more than one. It's 4. You can customize this as well. So the 4 basic views are top, left, front, and perspective. With the right click somewhere here, you can go to configure the layout and choose whatever you want. So I will stay like this and actually working mostly only here. So because I want to do everything on a big screen, so it will be better. Now I will start with some custom shape. So I will take the cylinder, and in the middle I will draw something like this and this. Now let's go to chapter 2. I think which are the hotkeys. Hotkeys are very useful. Like in every program, if you know the hotkeys, you can work very fast. Now these hotkeys I use in mostly of the tutorials. So if you will watch and write them down or learn, I'm sure it will help you to speed up your work. So let's start with something very simple. I will convert this object to editable poly, like right clicking on this and convert to editable poly, and hit F3 on my keyboard. You see, When you hit F3, you will lose the smooth things on the object and see only the wires. If I hit F4, I will see the smooth and the wires. This is very useful because if you model something, you like to see all the edges and vertex in the scene on the model, but also how it looks in real. So you can toggle in this mode and you can be sure that your model will be without any defect. Now this is for the views. Now for selection and moving, you can see here you have the selection properties like select object or select by name. Now if it should be a rectangle or a circle or something like that. Now sometimes you need to move the thing, sometimes you need to rotate the thing and so on, the scale. So it's useful to know how to do it through the keyboard. So if you hit Q, you will go to select. If you hit W, you will go to move. If you hit E, you will go to rotate, and if you hit R, you will go to scale. So it's good to know this too. Now, if we already in the poly, a shape have some like stages. Just the dots, which are called vertex here. You see, the blue ones. Either the edge, then some borders, or like how to say, it's like we don't have any here. The poly itself and the element. You can divide some object in more elements. After it's very easy to select just some parts and apply some materials to it. Now, if I delete this top polygon by hitting delete and go back to border, we select my border on the top. See? I will keep it again. Now, if I want to change this very quickly, anyway, I'm using the mouse for this, but you can use some keyboard shortcuts. You can go with the numbers here. So 1, okay, but no, okay, again. Bit keyboard, sorry. Yeah, so you can go with the selection by numbers. So 2 is edge, 3 border, 4 polygon, 5 element, and 1 should be vertex. But you have to have an English keyboard set. Now, as I said before, we will be mostly working perspective, but sometimes we need to go to left from the top view to be sure that the vertex, the shape is good and straight. So you can do this also, like going here and select which view you want, or you can go through a shortcut, as you can see here. So when you hit the T, you will go on the top. L is for left, F is for front, and P is for perspective. Now, as you can see, when I was changing the views, like I will go to top and back to perspective, the perspective view change his appearance to the last view which was there, so it's like on the top. And if I want to rotate this, I can use this and drag it like this, or I can use the mouse. This is very useful and very good for rotating not the object himself, but the scene around it. Now, when I hit Control and the middle mouse button, I'm moving. If I hit Alt and the middle mouse button, I'm rotating. So remember this. This is very useful for you and for me. Now, sometimes if you have a lot of cameras in the scene and you want to jump from top to perspective, then to camera, you can select the camera by hitting the C. Because I have no cameras in the scene, give me some error. No camera, okay, I know. Now, if you select some edge or vertex or anything, okay, let's go with poly. I select these and hit Z. It will zoom on it. It's very good to do. And sometimes happens that you hit something accidentally, like I will go to move and hit X, and the gizmo for moving disappear. Okay, what now? You can reset the max, but it will not help. So with X, you can reveal it back. The last shortcut which I'm using is Alt X, which is not working, like everything here. The object properties. The last shortcut which I want to use is hide. I don't know. Oh no, not hide. My bad. See through, but I have everything disabled here, so I will not try to investigate why. The problem sometimes is that if you have a really complicated object, some vertex are behind some polygons. If you want to see them, you have to see through properties, get through. So it's go by Alt X, but it's not working by me now. Maybe later it will. Now, this was the shortcuts. Like I said before, every object has some modifiers. Now, you have viewed the modifier list, so in chapter 3 I will just explain this very quickly. You have a lot of modifiers here, like FFD box, FFD4, CAD4, CAD4. So if you hit here, you will get here some points which you can drag and deform the object. Now, if I select the point here and will drag it up, you can see it tries to drag the object and keep the other points in some align with this dragging. So if I drag this and this, it will drag just these 2 points and try to deform the model to something else. But because I have no edges here, it don't appear any much. But like I said, this is just one. Here a lot of them, usefully smooth or turbo smooth, slice, taper, and so. Like, let's go for taper, and you can see we deforming the object by changing this amount, and so there are a lot of them. I will not explain like just these two, but in the tutorials you will see using me another ones, and I never used all of them, so maybe once I will use all. But this is just to know that here are the modifier list. It depends also if you as a poly or then like a spline or something else. So it changed. And now to the fourth chapter, we will try to model something. So we'll start with modeling something very easily, and we will use poly modeling. It's one of the techniques which you can use in Max. There are more of them, of course. And most used, as I know, is the poly modeling and spline modeling. So we'll do just a simple cup, once with poly modeling and then with spline modeling to be very fast. So let's go again here for create and started primitives, and let's go to do another cylinder. You can do it like this and move it, I don't know, like this. Now let's go here, modify, and let's rename it like cup poly. And we will change the settings. We want the height segments just 1. The size we can keep by 18. Now let's do this nice numbers like 28 and 4.5. And we have the bottom of the cup. We cup for coffee or something like that. It doesn't matter. Now I will right click on it and convert it to poly. And now I have control on of every poly and vertex in the model. So I will select the top and use, where is it? Inset. Now, if you use inset, it will inset another poly with respect of the poly which you selected. So if it will be a rectangle, it will do a rectangle shape. Because we are a circle, it done a circle. So let's do the amount a little bit higher, like this. We'll keep this inside. Now let's go back to edge. Select this edge and loop. No, rabbit, ring. Now we ring all these poly edges around to make a quick selection. If you select the edges and hit Ctrl with left mouse button polygon, it will select the polygons or the poly inside the selection. So we selected this and we are going to extruding. You just click on this and extrude it up. Like this. Okay, I already see it's not much like a cup for coffee, but a cup for whiskey maybe. But we'll change this. We can change it right now. So I will go step back, click this and scale it a little bit. Or I will try to scale it a little bit to make the walls of the cup a little bit more thicker. Now again, I will select the edges, and as you can see, the edges are already selected because Max is remembering the last selection. So again, Control this and extrude. Okay, it's the same, not so bad, but not so good. I will drag this a little bit more up, and we have a basic shape of a cup. Now, all edges are too hard to see, too sharp, but we'll fix this a little bit later. Now let's go look how to do this with splines. With splines, objects like this are very similar because they are symmetric. So let's go to front, select the shape, we'll do a line. Let's draw a half of the cup. So I will start here. I don't know, do it like this, this. Now up, I will do the edges more smooth. Okay. Going back, I will do here something like this and connect it back. I will close the spline, go a little bit, zoom to that and go back here to modify this. Let's rename it to cup splines. Select the points. Now I will move the points to be more straight. No, this is fine. This is a little bit up. Now you can hit locking to these points in Max, but I will not using this right now because we are trying to get in touch with Max, so it's better when you do it like this. And anyway, if it's a little bit not so straight like here, nobody will notice that, don't worry. So let's move this a little like this, and okay, it's fine. Now it's not so fine because everything is again too sharp. Like I want to make this a little bit around, so right click on it and change it to Bezier corner. Sorry. Now you will see these modifiers here. Now I can move them like I want and make the shape more round. You see? I will do this very rough, but you can do it like you want. This we can do just Bezier to make it more smooth, and again here just Bezier to move it like this. Okay, I think it's fine. Okay, now we have the simple shape of our cup, and we want to use a modifier. Okay, let's find it. It's latte. Okay, I used the modifier, and you will see the modifier created me a shape. It's not what I wanted, but why? Okay, it's because this. You see? Let's go to front. The center of the object is here, and we want it here because From here it will be rotating the object and creating our cup. So let's go to hierarchy. No. It was good. Hierarchy. Effect pivot. And move the pivot here at the bottom. Turn it off and you can see change the position here. Now let's go apply the modifier again. Then yeah, it's better, but the cap is not looking so good, but not so bad. As you can see, I just did like a slice, half slice of the cup, and created it with splines and after modifier. Now you can weld the core and segments. We can do a little bit more to make it more smooth. So as you can see, with splines we did this shape very fast. If you will have a glass for wine, it would be very nice to do it with this instead of polymodeling, but it's up to you. I wanted just to show you how to use the splines for simple modeling. I'm not using splines so much, like help us a little bit. Yeah, so you can decide which way you are going. Anyway, I'm making mostly with polymodeling. So I will delete it just by hitting delete and go back to my cup from polymodeling. Now, every cup, I will just change the color of it to gray. I don't know, I like gray more, so the white lines are more visible here. So it's too small. Okay, let's scale it a little bit to make it bigger. Not that way. This way. Oh, maybe a little bit. Oh, like this. Okay. Okay, no, I did an ellipse from it. So back here, go to top, scale it, go to front, scale it a little bit up, perspective back. Okay, a little bit better. Now we have a cup here. Now I told you before that we have two sharp edges here. Now let's make them a little bit smoother. So I will select edge and select this and this edge so far. Oh, sorry. Now I will use the loop helper and select all the edges around. And now chamfer. Chamfer actually doubles the edges there. One is going up, one is going down, copying a little bit the model and making for us the shape not so sharp like before. So I will do it a little less, just like this. I will do the same here down. Okay, loop, which is not working, so I can do it with poly. Select this poly, control edge, all edges around are selected. Chamfer is remember the last setting, so it's fine for me. Maybe a little bit more here. And the same I need to do inside. So we can try loop again, which isn't working again. So again, poly, control edge, all edges selected, and chamfer. Now, I would like to see the bottom a little bit up. I don't know. It's too flat. I want to do some little bit sphere inside, like it's going up. So what I will do very simply is I just select the poly and set it again a little bit more, like this. Okay, and set it again like this, and I will just drag this a little bit up. First this. Now I want to see these edges, loop, and put it also a little bit up. Now the bottom is more round now, but okay, it's not the best solution how I did this. So how to do it different? Well, I go 2 steps back before I set that. Okay, a little bit more steps. Again, I will select the poly and use bevel. Well, the bevel is very similar to extrude. So to extrude the object, let's go just a little bit, like I don't know, 2, but it also deform it to itself. So as you can see, if the value is too big, it will go in self and inverse. So I will do just something like this, too much, less. Now apply and continue, and okay. So I have the bottom a little bit more round. I did it with two ways. So, and the cap is looking a little bit better. It's going to look like a real model. Now I need to catch the cap for something. So I'm going to do a handle for it. For this, I need, I don't know, some shape from which I'm going to do this. I will do it just from a simple rectangle. Now, like from here. For this, I need to cut these edges with Vertex. So I will go to Vertex. Here's some cut. I will do a cut here, from here to here. Right click to disable, and from here to here. I will move it a little bit, so just select the edges and move it up. Okay, select the poly and let's extrude it. Okay, I will extrude it like, I don't know, like this. Now, what I need to do is something like this. So how to do this? Now, I could extrude it, rotate, extrude, rotate, extrude, rotate, but okay, here's a simple way to do this. So I will select just this poly. Now select this and go to gimbal local. Yeah, go to local. Hold down shift and drag it away. So I'm copying this single polygon somewhere here. I will clone this to object. Doesn't matter how you name it, we will anyway delete this. Go back here, select the poly again, and select hinge from edge. Now, I want this poly to be hinged from this bottom edge. So I'm going to select this bottom edge, and voila. Look what it's doing. It's hinging from this edge. So I'll increase this angle for 90, and this, I don't know, for 15. So 15 segments. It's too much. Oh, let's go with 10. And we have this here, which is what we need. Now we'll extrude this again. Okay, leave it that. Now select this object, delete it. So you have the handle for it, very simple one. Okay, don't want to do anything complicated. Maybe drag it a little bit down. Now you can change the shape as you want. What I will do is I will select these edges. By holding control, I will select also this one, and I also need to select this one. So I will try loop. Okay, loop is working, but it's selecting too much. So I'll deselect this by holding the Alt button, and now select also this, just around the shape. Also this, and with holding control, I will select also this one. Now I will chamfer. It's too much. Not so much. Okay, like this, maybe, to make the handle more interesting shape. And as you can see, we have here triangles. It's here. Hopla. Here, it's not good if you have triangles in your model when you do poly modeling, but actually I will ignore this with this. But you should try to have the polygon tip from 4 at least 4 vertex, like it's here. So if you have here a simple shape of the cup, now it's how to say, it's like a square a little bit. So we need to apply a modifier to smooth this. You can just use subdivision here, so turn this off and put here 2. Now, as you can see, you have here some cracks. One of them is this. It's because I forgot to chamfer this one, and after this, so I will turn this off and go 2 steps back before I apply the chamfer. I'll select I will select this, which will get rid of the strange shape here. And now, as you remember, I thought here we had triangles, so I will go to vertex and cut a little bit more. I will cut this here. It will help a little bit the model, not absolutely, but it will help. Here and here. Because this is not a tutorial for a car, but just for the basics, doesn't matter much. So back to the edge, deselect this and this. Okay. Now chamfer again. Okay, we get rid of the triangles and here too. So apply and let's use it again. You see, the shape looks different. So we'll use 2. Turn this off. It looks nice and smooth. And this too. So if you have here a simple cup, as you can see, very easy to do. No cracks or something like that. And now I will copy this again, holding back the shift and move it a little bit. Okay. As you can see, if you copy something, you have a few options: copy, instance, and reference. If you copy, you just copy. For instance, I will show. So we have an object which is linked to this and this. So I will select this vertex and hit delete. As you can see, on every one model, the vertex disappear. So it's good when you do some symmetric modeling or something like that. But I just want to copy it. So again, hold down Shift, copy. Okay. Now let's go rotate this. If you hit the right click on the modifier, like rotate, you can tell him how much he should go. And if you turn this, it will snap the angle. Now it's set to 5. So I want to go to 90 degrees and like this. So I will have 2 cups in my basic scene. Maybe a little bit like this. And I don't know, maybe prepare for some render. Very basic. Oh. Let's go to front. No, left. Left is better. And get this a little bit up. Back to perspective. Now, I have 2 basic models, actually 1, but just copied. And now I want to create a camera. And you know, I could go here, so okay, we can call this chapter 5, I think. So I could go here and create a camera, free or target. Okay, let's go for target. Like, okay, no, it's not the angle. I want to different, maybe from this. Okay, let's go for top, front now. Okay, my bad. Front again. Yeah, maybe a little bit like this. Okay, hit. See, like camera. Okay, it's not what I want. Now the problem is by creating this kind of cameras, it's very hard to, let's say, to snap your idea. So let's go back to perspective. I rotate it like you want. I will delete this camera so far. Okay, I want to render this like this. Now, if you go here to the menu, like I said before, from this menu you can create anything. Everything that is here is also here. Like you see, create objects. Okay, I think most of that, I'm not sure. I'm sure everything is here. So actually all of modifiers, like here in categories, like selection, patch spline editing, animation, and so on. Back to the camera. So if I'm create cameras, create camera from view is what we want. So if I go to top, at the max will create a camera from what we see. It's very useful. So if I'm hitting C, okay, it's the view what I want. Now to the setting of cameras, the field of view or lens. These parameters, I think everyone knows. Now here's depth. You can turn on depth of field and do here a lot of settings. Actually, I don't know how you, but I'm using a lot for post-production Photoshop. So depth of field I can do in Photoshop, but it's nice to do actually also here. So. But you can set here what you want. Usually I'm rendering just from perspective. After creating the camera, like, okay, this view I like, maybe I will use it later for something else. But it's not so important now. So we got to, I think, 5 or 4 chapters, like where I introduced you to Max, then told you something about the tools which you have here, model something, told you some shortcuts, and something about this top menu. Now, the next 2 chapters will be different, like we are going to render the model. Okay, we are pleased the model is fine. We are going to render, so we will render the model and create some materials for it. So there will be some basic rendering, lighting, and creating a material. But it will be in the next parts because I don't want to do this for this video too long. So see you in the next part, and I hope you enjoy this a little bit. Okay, bye bye.